What the fuck is the issue where California is like shortening their bridges? Have you seen this at all?
What?
Every
I
fucking
don't know what
bridge,
you're
like,
talking about.
okay, so, like, you know, like bridges that go over freeways, like the overpass.
Oh,
if
the
you want.
overhangs, yeah.
They are for some, like, every fucking time, like, the last few times I've been driving on the freeway, no matter, huh?
You are very passionate about this. You got hands flying.
Oh, yeah,
You're like moving your chair back and forth.
Dude, I have to like lean back.
Yeah, like, I'm a little worried.
Okay, every single time I've been driving, I don't know why, but I'm like, why are there 3 missing lanes here? And I look over and I'm like, what construction are they doing? And it's like, oh, they're just somehow, like, they've removed these lanes. Are they gonna put them back? Like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, we're just like, they just remove lanes from the highway for no fucking reason.
but this is also on a bridge, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
on the overpass, and it's like, okay, so this is a 1-lane overpass?
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be really weird to get on and off of.
Like, okay, so,
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
on, like, one of the main roads of the town I live in, it connects to the 10 freeway. When you
Okay, I know exactly
when you are getting on it right now, basically the going north lanes are actually driving on half of the.
Yes, I visited my parents recently who live in the same town
Yeah.
you live in, and I was coming from the other way basically, and I looked over and was like, well, that looks really shitty.
Yeah,
And I did not take that freeway back.
but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not getting in the way, but every like bridge I'm going across, I'm just like, there's less of this bridge. What's going on? It's like they ran out of materials and they're like, shit, we need to get it off these bridges. No one's using these 4 lanes. We can just siphon that off. Fucking bullshit.
We for a while had they were like trimming the trees on the street outside of our apartment, but to trim the trees, obviously, you know, they need to close off at least 1 lane because they don't want shit falling on cars. But what they did is, instead of just closing 1 lane, it's a 2-lane street. They could have just left the other one open. But instead what they did is they closed off that entire section of the street. And they said, no, when you get to the intersection, you need to go as if you're turning left and then turn right onto basically what would have been oncoming traffic. But don't worry, we coned it off. So the other street has 1 lane going like oncoming, and then 1 that we have to merge into. But people in this area are notorious for not caring about laws on the street.
That this is totally unrelated, but one of the first times I ever went out driving by myself, I was caught like it was at a point where I was so new to driving that anytime I would like tell my parents, they'd be like, hey, be careful, like, you know, watch out for these kind of things. And I am like, oh, there's not going to be an issue because I'm like a master driver, right? And I'm driving to like where I'm not even going that far. I'm literally going to like the store and back. As I'm driving across the road, I am driving down a road that actually has a partition between the 2 lanes. So you physically cannot interact with like oncoming traffic unless they drive over like
the median.
Yeah. And I'm driving along, and I'm like, well, that's weird. That guy's car, like, is just, like, doesn't look right. And I realized there is someone driving with their headlights off at night towards me. Oh. Like, literally, they are on the wrong side of the road. And I just pulled over because they're going, like, 10 miles an hour. And I'm like, okay, there's I literally went to the store and came back, and by that point already like gotten pulled over by the police. Like he did not get another 100 feet before he got pulled over. And I'm like, that is like a 12-year-old that has stolen their parents' car. There is no.
Like, could you see the person?
I could not, but I'm going to guess that was like a 12-year-old that stole the parents, because it was like someone who had. I was like someone had never driven before, because I bet what happened. They tried making a left turn, but they turned into the wrong side of the median. Okay. And then they were like, oh shit, I've never done this before. And it was also nighttime, so they didn't have their headlights on, which is why they probably couldn't see it. And I'm the entire time I'm thinking like, I've never seen someone fuck up so casually in my life. Like it's not like, oh shit, like you have nothing to do about it. But it's like, whoop, yeah, fucking up right now. Well, I'll just continue.
Guess I'll just keep going. Yeah. What do you mean turn around?
Like that's I get it too, because what are you gonna do?
Played Mario Kart. There's no Lakitu in front of me saying wrong way.
What are you gonna do? You're just gonna stop and like turn around? I bet that guy was like, I just need to get to where the median stops,
and then I can like go around it.
Yeah,
I can at least understand that line of reasoning.
Right.
But God, no, I'd be like kind of fucked up about that.
Yeah. It's like one time when my mom was driving and she pulled into like, like how in the middle of some roads there's like a two-way lane where, who's ever in it can make the turn.
Yes.
So like you can drive on it in either direction because you're not meant to drive on it more than a few feet. She pulled onto that. There's a car in front and I'm like, you realize there is no middle lane. You literally are just on the wrong side of the road right now. Like you are making a left turn starting halfway into the other side of the road.
I don't know if this is like a colloquial term for it, but ever since I was a kid, I forget who said it, but I've always called those suicide lanes.
Huh.
Because like if you get stuck in that lane, you're fucked.
Wait, I mean you could stop. It's not like you gotta be going 70.
I don't know why, but I've always known that as a suicide lane.
Interesting. I've never heard that, but like if someone were to describe that to me, I would probably not know what it is, and then they would say it is, and I go, oh yes, I know that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, sorry, I've been suppressing like an alcoholic burp.
Quick, another driving story.
This is session 2 of the recording, so we're already like in it.
Yeah, we're already like halfway gone.
So a good rule of thumb is we tend to record the Tyler-led episode first, and then the Adrian-led episode.
Mainly because Tyler's are more complicated, and I need like the power to focus.
Right.
Because
and we need to get you a little drunk to be able to talk.
Yeah, exactly. But this time, well, first off, welcome to Crack Open a Cryptid.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you got one. You can get a double feature in here.
Go for it.
You can get a double feature. No, I mean like with the actual literal can in front of you. I will drink this if you're not gonna open
I'm sorry.
it.
Hold on. Let me open it. Ooh,
There
that
you
was
go.
a good one.
You done? I love that when you feigned drinking it, you basically would have just shoved it all up your nose.
That's how you drink. I don't know how you're drinking. I actually do not want this. So if I open this, you have to drink it.
Yeah, all right. Oh my God. I'm like actually mad at you.
Into the microphone. Oh,
Ooh,
man.
that was a good one too.
Oh, man.
Oh, here. Cheers to me.
God. Anyways.
That was kind of... you're like, cheers to me, Duke. And then...
Well, because I realized that this one is freshly opened and thus full, and then if I clicked it much harder, I would have to wipe it off of Adrian's microphone.
That is true.
So, yeah, I'm Adrian Castro.
Oh, I'm Tyler Shively.
I'm...
That's right. We're here with our best friend.
Yeah, that's my street name. I'm Jeremy Savage Tate.
Welcome to Crack Open a Cryptid.
Yeah. So what I was saying earlier, yeah, we already drank, and I drank a shock top, which I don't know if you've ever had one.
I'm drinking
before.
one now. I'm drinking the other one.
It's like asking for a Coke and receiving like,
Don't say Pepsi.
No, like a
RC
like a
Cola?
Royal, like Crown Royal. Royal Crown?
You had it. RC.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
We're just like, that's not what
Yeah,
I
it's-
asked for.
it's-
Yeah, no, I literally, you're talking about that, and I think I mentioned to you between episodes, I already opened the shock top because it doesn't have a it's just a twist off cap. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
sounded like. But yeah, I took a sip, and the first thing came out of my mouth was, God, I wish I had a Blue Moon.
Yeah. So yeah.
Man, that's like whatever the opposite of an anti-sponsor. I guess that's whatever the opposite of a sponsor is,
Well,
not an
here-
anti-sponsor.
Here's the thing. If Shock Top gave me money, I would drink it instead of water.
Yeah, you just be like, you wouldn't believe it. It's like the best drink ever.
Yeah, no, like Blue Moon, out of here. Belgian white, any other beer, get out of my face. I'm all about Shock Top, baby.
Yeah.
But until then, Shock Top fucking sucks.
Yeah, you know, we
well, at least
say
this one does.
we
I know they have other flavors.
we say this all the time on the podcast, but Shock Top can eat our ass. Like that's the classic podcast phrase, you know. The one we say every week.
You got me.
That's the official slogan of Crack Open a Cryptid.
Yeah, Crack Open a Cryptid, where Shock Top can eat our ass.
Unless they give us lots of money.
Yes. Or just any money. They
Yeah,
give me like
literally-
$1.
yeah,
I'd
they're
be
just-
like,
any
I'd be
amount of
like,
money will
I'll
cut
eat
that.
your ass, Shock Top.
Yeah.
If you're into it.
Oh God. So there's no real way to segue into this, but today I researched something that it's possibly the world's most notorious ancient monument.
Oh, Shock Top sponsored by Stonehenge. Brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Exactly.
Watch a lot of online content.
Shock top that can eat her ass. Stonehenge edition.
Dude, Shock Top can actually lick my butthole clean at Stonehenge. Pay us, please.
Yeah.
Or better yet,
We will
Blue Moon.
Yeah, we will. Here's the thing. It's more Blue Moon. Pay us to continue. What, like, I don't know if that's legal, but we will just fucking disparage.
Yeah, we'll put it under the table,
Yeah.
baby. We don't care.
We do not work for that much. Like, literally, you fucking put a $5 like under that table, and we're just like, we will say any alcoholic beverage
Dude,
can eat our ass.
If Blue Moon just sends me a bottle of Blue Moon, I'll be like, hell yeah, fuck Shock Top, dude.
It would be interesting if it's like, crack open a Cryptid, sponsored by Blue Moon. And then,
Dude, that's actually like the dream.
Oh, dude. If I could get like endless Blue Moon, like I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good for life.
Outside of Shock Top and our anus
what?
and what they can do to it. Adrian's favorite drink, like of all time, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Blue Moon.
Correct.
This boy loves himself a Blue Moon with a big old fucking orange slice in there.
Yeah, just like take it off the edge of the glass, put it into the Blue Moon. So, what do you guys know about Stonehenge?
I have been there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that comes up way more often than I expected it to, of us being like, hey, this is from this place. What do you know? And Jeremy's like, well, I'm a rich money bag millionaire, so I've been there with my legion of hookers.
Okay, to be fair, that's only happened twice, and they are both more or less in the same area. So
I love that of all the things, he didn't deny the legion of hookers. He's like, no, that's accurate.
well, it's I mean, like you're like, Jeremy's all over the world. No, he has been to one location, and you are describing like 4 different places at that one location. So what do I know about it? I know that there are potentially many other Stonehenge nearby.
I think ditch potentially. I'm pretty sure we found a bunch of them.
Yeah,
like we know there are.
Yeah, so they're just not dug up. I think like these ones are actually buried. Is
that it?
Yeah.
I just know we found more monoliths
Yeah,
that are similar.
There are a lot of similar structures. The curious thing about it though is nobody knows what they are for.
Yeah, I've heard things like it was potentially like I know in Civilization it gives you a religion bonus kind of thing, and because that's I think the most
is that
common.
true? Because I know what they're for, and if I know what they're for, I feel like other people do.
Well, okay,
What are they for, old wise Jeremy?
It's like a calendar.
Yes, that is that is the thing I have heard.
Theory.
Yeah, it's a theory. I believe that's not proven, but we thought it was like a clock.
When you, I think like at the winter solstice or some of that, the last sun does shine through all of the.
but is that coincidence or? Is,
I don't think that like. I really wouldn't think that'd be a coincidence. Like that's
it wouldn't be for a reason that
it's just
I
circle.
will.
Oh, okay, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Adrian, real quick, can you lift your foot?
Yeah, of course. Oh,
My
my bad.
stepping on his wire.
My bad. Yeah.
I do know that Stonehenge, it's a very hotly debated for a lot of years of how did they build this, and then someone will be like, well, here, I built it using primitive technology. And then people are like, wow, okay, I guess it was possible. And they find out the dude had like a tractor. And it's like, that's not primitive technology.
Right.
You can't have that.
I think very recently they came up with an idea of how the Easter Island heads were moved around.
Yeah, the Moai heads.
And-
Those are fascinating to me as well.
And they basically shimmied them.
Yes. I believe
yeah.
I read about that as well, where they just kind of had like bamboo shafts or whatever under it, and they just kind of like nudged it along for a while.
I thought they were rope, but yeah, either one.
Or whichever.
Yeah. Tell me
Again,
about
that's-
Stonehenge.
All right,
'cause
so Stonehenge.
I have been there, and I want to point out a few things.
Yeah.
One, they have a gift shop. What?
What?
Yeah, you can go to Stonehenge, and they literally, you show up, and you're like, I'm at the gift shop, baby.
Can I buy like a little Stonehenge?
You can.
Yes!
100% you can. You buy snow globes with it, and for some reason, entirely, like, the entire economy in that area must be based entirely on sheep-related hats. Because you walk into that store, and you're like, how the fuck is this Stonehenge related? They're like, you want to buy a hat? It looks like a sheep. And you're like, obviously I do, but why are you selling this
I
here?
want the sheep hat. I have to go raid the Capitol later.
Also, I bought a sausage roll while I was there. If you're going to Stonehenge, buy a fucking
did you
sausage
just raise
roll.
your eyebrows at me, Adrian? Did you just give me a seductive eyebrow raise at the term sausage roll?
A little bit, yeah.
Anyway, tell us about your sausage roll.
Sausage. I'll tell you about my sausage and the roll in which it came in. It was good. You know what's fun about sausage rolls? Usually you get them in little slices. This was like a full sausage.
It was like a
roll.
full link.
So yeah, it was like it was closer to almost like a panini. I guess that's not a
what?
very fair. It was close to like a sandwich because it was.
Was it in a sandwich form?
Like a sub? Or...
So imagine that you just have a sausage and you put the roll in. Imagine you just didn't cut it into the.
So it's like a big pigs in a blanket.
Yeah, but obviously it's like a puff pastry instead of a pancake.
Do you think that they just gave you beef Wellington and said it was a sausage?
No, because if I had beef Wellington, I wouldn't have paid like the £4 for the. They'd be like 70 quid, please.
You know what? That's a fair point. Have you ever had blood sausage?
I have actually.
I
Is it
haven't.
good?
What is that?
It sounds disgusting.
So
It kind of does.
blood sauce. Do you not know what it is?
I absolutely do not.
Blood sausage is literally like coagulated blood that's been fried.
Right? It sounds fucking horrifying.
So like how it works is like when they're butchering the animal, they take the blood. That's why you can get pig's blood and stuff. You can put it in soups or whatever.
Or pour it on some girl at prom, yeah.
I am so glad that I got the at prom like that registered quickly in my mind, because you were like, yeah, and then you just get pig's blood and you just pour it on some girl, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing in the bedroom, buddy, but like if you're like going to the butcher shop because we're doing it tonight.
Talk to me about Stonehenge.
All right, so Stonehenge. So what it is, it consists of a ring of standing stones, each around 13 feet high and 7 feet wide, each weighing about 25 pounds, except for the heel stone, which weighs 30 tons. I said
Yeah, you said
pounds.
I was going to say
25
pounds.
tons.
Dude, I was gonna say they're like, the light ones, you just pick them up. That's how they got them.
I was like, Stonehenge made of primeval styrofoam?
No, yeah, each rock, each stone weighs about 25 tons, which I didn't know how much a ton was until today.
Well, is it TON or TONNE?
TON.
That is 2,000 pounds.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Is it directly? Is it like 2,200 and some, or is it exactly?
Like I think it's.
Yeah,
people just use 2,000, but I think you're right. It's somewhat different.
Yeah.
Because a British ton, TONNE, I believe is 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 kilograms is a metric
Kilos,
ton.
yeah.
No, this one.
A metric ton. Did I say a British ton? I'm fucking dumb as shit.
The fucking weird thing is England very much uses the imperial system.
Does it really?
Yeah, you would often be like, oh well, it's in Europe. No, they do things in miles per gallon. They do things like
because the ever-present tsunami of American culture just bleeds into everything else.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things of like, yeah, they came up with the imperial system and they're like, we're not going to lose it.
Because I know Canada is kind of like half and half too.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people know roughly like, oh yeah, I can tell you how many degrees it is in Fahrenheit.
Right.
Because I know that.
So anyways, these stones are set within earthworks in the middle of the most dense and complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments. And that was a weird sentence.
Can you start over?
Neolithic Bronze Age monuments? Is that
I think Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments.
Neolithic and Bronze Mage.
Bronze
Sorry,
Mage.
it's
Bronze Mage?
Bronze
Dude,
Age.
a Bronze Mage would be like he sends a fireball, but it's just like a fucking grenade.
Or he didn't quite make the high rank yet.
Oh yeah, he was the third place mage.
Yeah.
God. Anyways, essentially what it is, it's a ton of rocks in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite
And
literally.
yeah. And like a few
In fact, about 25 to 30 ton rocks in a circle.
Yeah. Most 25, only one is 30 tons.
Oh.
And is that the one on the top?
I think so. It's the biggest one that's
Oh,
there.
I see. So only literally one of the rock. Okay.
Yeah. Only one rock is 30 tons.
Because it's typically two pillar rocks straight up and then one big rock on the top.
Exactly. So yeah, and in the surrounding area, there's a ton of burial mounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, actually.
No?
No, I didn't know there was any burials.
Yeah, so there's like a ton of like graves just like surrounding this.
Is Stonehenge cursed? Because it is built on ancient burial grounds.
We'll get to that. Actually, I don't think it is.
Shit.
I've been there and I did not have to worry that much. So
No ghosts?
no ghosts.
I was hoping to be like, no, there were ghosts, just not scary ones.
I believe that there might have
They
been
were all
ghosts.
wearing sheep hats.
But say that. Why would you believe there might have been ghosts?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So archaeologists believe it was constructed God, alcohol.
You need to slow down on the alk, brother.
I'm already like halfway through this.
I'm just pounding through the shock top
God.
because
You know, it can eat your ass.
Yeah.
oh god, it's just bad, but I need to drink
Yeah.
it because it's
So
here.
archaeologists believe that it was constructed from about 3000 BC to 2000 BC. So for 1,000 years, this thing's been like, it's been in the works.
So wait, so they think it took 1,000 years to build?
Yes. Well, it's not like, oh, like we're going to build it like a couple pieces. Well, it is. They're going to build it a couple pieces at a time. But it was open during all this time. And there's like actually like 5 versions of Stonehenge.
Can you imagine being on your deathbed and being like, son, I am leaving this mortal coil, but I need you to put some rocks in a circle for me and continue my legacy.
Yeah. Well, I don't think one guy was doing it, so...
No,
Yeah, but like of the group of people, there's like, yeah, now my kid is gonna move rocks.
That's a really fucking long time.
Yeah.
Isn't there modern day? There's a German monument that's being built, I think, where it's designed to be a pyramid, but it's something like every 10 years one block is placed, and there's only been like 3 blocks placed.
I have no clue.
Is that true?
I think it's called like the time pyramid. I'll search it up while you keep
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
So they put something in the block, like a cool fact about that year.
Well, I think they just put the year on when that one was put up.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, so it was built in about a 1,000 year span. It was built in phases, and each time that they like rebuilt it, they either added to it or took stuff away.
Interesting.
Yeah. Many people believe that the person who had the site built in the first place was actually Merlin.
Of Arthurian legend.
Yeah, but an actual person.
As in Merlin, is there evidence that Merlin was a real person?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Also, yeah, I did find it. It is called the Time Pyramid. This is how it's supposed to look eventually. It started in 1993. There are 3 blocks placed, and here are the 3 blocks. Riveting, isn't it?
Huh.
Yeah, every 10 years they...
How long is it projected?
I think it's supposed to be like 1,000 years. Literally about... That's why this made me think of it.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how little I would give a shit after that time.
Right.
I'd be like, buddy, I'm gonna die. I'm not putting a fucking block down.
But for some reason, I've remembered this since like 2013.
I mean, it's really interesting.
So they've added a block
Is
since.
it though? Well, no, 2013 was the last block.
Oh, what the fuck?
And I think that's why I know
we're
about
2 years into a almost a block in 2 years.
It would be
Shit, you're right, dude. There's gonna be a block in 2 years.
it'd be more interesting if like, oh, like here's a cool thing about this decade.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like if there was like a
block could be-
time capsule in it or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
God,
that's-
and now I'm just the first thing that came to mind was like, dude, in 2 years, once all this COVID shit is over, we shall go to Germany to see them put the next block on. And then I thought about how fucking boring that would be.
Plus, I've had bad times in Germany.
Yeah, that's true. Stop. Do you not know the word stop?
I don't know why you're just giving me PTSD. Like,
That is one of my favorite stories you've ever told.
I'll tell it before I fucking die.
I think you've told it on the show.
I have not, but
He has.
Has he not? Oh, fuck.
Well, that'll be a fucking cold open.
Yeah, that'll be a cold open.
Okay. So yeah. So big ass circle of rocks, all shaped. It's weird. So there's not a whole lot of information on Stonehenge, surprisingly. All that we know, like, it's all theories. Nobody.
It's like too old to really.
Yeah,
even know.
it's too old. Literally, it was 2,000 years before Christ, and
Is it? Oh, but then when it was completed or when they started?
when it was completed.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
fuck me.
completed in 2000 BC. I believe.
Yeah,
is what it
2000
said.
BC.
It went from 3000 to 2000. We think.
And it might have even started earlier. Some say that it started in 8000 BC.
I
Yeah.
can't even fathom that
Exactly.
it took 6,000 years to put rocks in a circle.
You also have to imagine that how fucking primitive people are at fucking 8000 BC.
but like the thing is,
It's like Guh and Muh are gonna go put a rock over there.
but sorry, like Jesus Christ. There's this idea that it's a common misconception that we think that primitive people were dumber than modern people.
They're
But
not.
the thing is, we have more information at hand, but humans have always been pretty fucking smart. So to say that it took 6,000 years to move rocks in a circle, I cannot physically imagine that it would take 6,000 years for people to figure out how to make a fucking sled. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, like you say that, but think about literally exactly what you said. But they have to be like on like the technology tree, like it branches off from things. So they cannot start with making a sled if they don't already know how to like bend metal, or they don't know how to.
Well, they don't need to bend metal. They just need to put like logs
you're
on
gonna
the
put a-
ground and then roll it and then move the log.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna yeah. How would they lift it up? Like they're gonna need
With
to
like
pulley
a bunch of guys.
Well, everyone's getting around. They're like, all right, 30 tons. Don't bend your back because we now know that's bad.
Which, by the way, I've read multiple articles researching this. Literally every single article is this. One guy coming up with a solution and the other guy like,
Being
oh no,
like-
but this.
So what you're saying is we're historians and scientists?
And archaeologists.
And archaeologists. Dude, Jeremy, up top, brother. Woo!
Yeah. So one of the biggest questions is, how did these stones get here?
They don't know where they sourced the.
Yeah,
They do now.
Oh, okay. See, because the last time I heard about it, they didn't know where they sourced it from.
No, yeah, they know where they came from now,
Is
which
it
we
just
will
like
get to.
The big hill somewhere that's missing a whole bunch of stones.
But they're all perfectly cut out. And they're
Yeah.
like,
Kind
well,
of.
this raises so many more questions.
So the reason why, first off, we don't know a whole lot about how or why these people, put these stones in a circle, is because the civilization that built it did not keep records.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
10,000 years ago, potentially, like I wouldn't imagine.
yeah,
They're like, we'll remember. It's a big. Why else would we put a big fucking rock thing there?
How could we forget about the fucking rock circle?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Did you lose your place?
I did, but I found it, so it's fine. So over the years,
know what?
there's been a ton of like,
Hold that thought. Thank you. Continue.
God. So there's a bunch of like theories, a ton of supernatural theories, which
Obviously.
most of which we will not entertain.
Aliens.
I mean,
Obviously.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of theories on how they did it. First question you need to ask yourself: how did these prehistoric people, without the aid of a wheel or a pulley system that was known at the time, get these rocks away? I didn't. Damn it! I didn't write down. I didn't like copy paste where exactly they were, and I don't know. I thought I did,
You
but essentially,
dumb bitch.
I know how far they had to travel.
This is a professional program.
No, it's
not. We uphold this with the most professionalism that we possibly can. That burp I just did into the mic, professional burp.
Yeah.
God.
And
Last
you're
session,
sitting here.
last session, one of our members said that zippers don't freeze. So
And you're coming at me saying that, hey, zippers can freeze because I looked it up and they absolutely can if they get wet. As well as the fact that you don't fucking know where they got the big rocks from.
No, but I know the distance they had to travel.
how
But
far is the distance?
If they had traveled distance, would their zipper have frozen?
The zipper's always going to freeze. That's always on the table.
I mean, we're in fucking Scotland. Is it cold out there?
You've been there.
Are we in
Oh
Scotland?
wait,
Yes, this is just
Because here's the thing.
on that island, basically.
yeah,
Well,
it's on the stupid island.
which I know is like 4 countries, but shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's
It's
the thing.
3
It's-
countries,
you're
actually.
like equivalent of him saying. It's like it's right next to Oregon, and you said, "Well, I know it's actually in California." And I said, "Hold on," and you cut me off and said, "I know everything's in California."
Yeah, they're both in the United States, you fucking
All right,
idiot.
we're in the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's cold as shit out there.
Yeah. I don't know why that I'm telling this story, but we went to Stonehenge because it was like a guided tour. First we went to Stonehenge, and then we went to Bath.
Okay.
And
And then, did you take a shower or did you take a bath?
see, here's the thing.
How many people made that joke on your trip?
None, because like.
Because they were all respectable people.
Well, I
with
think
senses
mainly.
of humor.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not know what the fuck Bath was when we were going there. Does anyone here know what Bath
I
is?
have absolutely no idea.
Any idea?
Isn't it a city?
You are right.
Yeah, it's the city of Bath, right?
Okay, so basically, like, quick history lesson: the Romans, when they were in control of England, they were really into bathhouses.
For like those like 8 years.
I think it was
It
longer
was,
than
it
that.
was longer, but in the scale of Rome, it wasn't long.
But basically, they built bathhouses on top of like a geyser
Yeah.
or like a natural thing. So they would all sit there, and the town of Bath is just built around that. So it's because like everyone's like, oh, we're gonna go fucking take a bath. This is the only place to do it. So like the whole town is built. It's like going back in time. It is an active city. There's like a fucking McDonald's there or something like that. But you're walking around and you're like, we're in like a fucking gothic city right now.
That actually sounds really cool.
But anyway, so when we first went to Stonehenge, it was based on us going onto this trip, and we went from London. We drove about 2 hours, and then we got to Stonehenge. And my brother,
So 2 hours out of London? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot closer than I expected.
I mean, I think all of the UK is approximately the size of California. So,
Oh my God, really?
yeah,
Dude, California is huge.
I know California's huge, but shit, still.
yeah. So. That might include Scotland. I'm pretty sure Scotland, like the north piece of Scotland to the bottom piece of England, is approximately the size of California. So now you want to imagine, we get in, and my brother's with me, and he was like, "I don't need a jacket because like it stopped raining." And we've now driven 2 hours, and you're in like a different weather. And he steps out, and it's fucking freezing. Like there is rain that's just it's practically mist in the air. And he steps out and he goes, "Yeah. It is nippy."
So I'm amazed anybody else is nippy. My girlfriend has this thing where when it's cold out, she likes to say it's nippy noodles outside. And so now I'm just imagining your brother going, "It is nippy noodles outside," and that is a very funny image to me.
Nippy is a very like.
Is
English
that a
thing.
common thing?
Yeah,
I've never heard it.
Well, no, I don't know if people say it in the U.S., but to say something is nippy is like
It's fairly common. Nippy noodles is not.
yeah.
I think her mom said that or something when she was a kid.
But anyways.
So yes,
Is
to
it
answer
just
your
a term
question,
'cause, like,
it
you're-
is cold.
Because your nips get hard when it's cold? Is that why they say nippy?
Usually, nippy is used in the context of like it is cold, but you're not like that cold. Like it is gently cold.
Why
Like
do they
I need
have
to go.
an extra word for that?
Huh?
Why do they have an extra word for that?
That's how fucking languages work. You added an extra word to specify. You're like, why is there cold and why is there freezing? Why not just always make it cold?
No, always make it freezing, dumbass.
All
This
right.
guy thinks he knows the language.
So anyways.
to answer your question, it is cold.
Yeah, it's cold as shit. So,
I love how you could have just been yes.
yeah. So,
And in the edit, I will have.
so they had to try to move these stones 125 miles. Now, remember, each one of these stones, I forgot how many there were, but each one weighs about 25 tons. A modern day car weighs 2 tons.
Yeah.
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah.
So, how the fuck did that happen?
Were they like chiseled into that shape or were they just rock slint? Because like they are kind of
That
flat.
is a great question.
But
Yeah.
like, did they have to like form them into?
I didn't include it in this, but I did read that they were chiseled before being moved.
Okay, so they
Oh,
were
so
shaped into blocks.
Man, okay. So they are chiseling it, and then they're getting the location 125 miles later, and they're like, "Fuck us, we chiseled it wrong. Bring it back."
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that would be
so-
so brutal.
That would suck. So the most common theory is that these prehistoric people just moved these megaliths, by using a track of logs.
Okay.
That's the most common one.
I'm the smartest man alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they used the logs to move them, and none of their zippers froze. I fucking guarantee it.
Yeah. The second theory is that it involves the use of a sleigh
Okay.
that
A sled, you might say?
that runs on a track of greased animal fat.
All right, I
That-
didn't think that part. I'll admit
It's
it.
a fuckload of animal fat.
Right?
Like, are they lubing up their sleigh every time they're like, do they have to do it again?
Essentially.
Well, because
Yeah.
like the only fathomable thing I can imagine is that it was such a large party of people that they were hunting the entire way and saving all of the animal fat. And even then, I don't think it would work.
Okay, I want to point out, like, there are times where you see people trying to stand in, like, really thick mud or move something through mud. And I just want you to all know they're pushing a 30-ton thing.
So 60,000 pounds.
And they are like, fuck me, it's slippery. Oh, come on, I'm going over there.
Some guys just down the hill and they're like, Roger, you have to move. And he's like, oh, hey, God. It just creamed.
When you said that, for some reason, I thought he was like trying to push it, but because he's on the slicked ground, he's just like running in place, pushing up against the rock.
No, I was watching a guy at the bottom of the hill just getting absolutely fucking creamed by this lubed up 60,000-pound block, just running his ass over.
And he's like trying to get out of the way, but he's like, "Oh no, I'm in its place."
Yeah, he's doing the Prometheus thing where like he doesn't run left or right, he just keeps running forward.
God.
You okay?
What the hell was that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've just been sitting here.
Jeremy like flung back in his chair and then thrust his arm forward and pointed at me, and I don't know why.
I don't know why you're just making up a fact, because
Are you
I've just been sitting
yeah,
here.
they did do that in Prometheus, and you're just like, fuck yeah, they did.
It's because I was like, "Oh, I need to yawn, but I need to get away back," so I leaned back. And then when I was done, I was still getting yawning, so I pointed to be like, "Continue."
just reels back.
Yeah, I wasn't doing like the dance move where you bring someone into the dance floor. It's like, "Oh, that's a good point." Reeling them in.
Jeremy's just over here hitting that whoa, and Adrian and I were like, what the fuck is he doing?
I derail this podcast a lot, but that was by far the least intentional.
Please tell me more about Stonehenge.
All right.
Before I need to write an episode on the cryptid that is Jeremy's out of state.
So those are the two biggest, like, those are the ones that people are like, oh yeah, I could see that. I could see how that's, a thing. Now let's get into the crazy ones.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
See, up until this point, you've just been like, "Here are facts." So give me less factual.
All right.
That is almost literally what he said. Yeah, You're not wrong.
So, first off, aliens.
Okay.
Obviously.
We'll get to it later, though.
What?
Wait, hold on. You can't pull that shit here.
Well, because they come back eventually.
They haven't come originally.
I feel like I'm being edged with knowledge right now. Like,
and that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm edging you.
it better be a huge payoff. That's all I'm saying.
Can we get an isolated, isolated soundbite of Adrian saying, "I'm edging you, Jeremy"?
Okay, he did not say Jeremy in that.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I must have blocked that one out.
I like how I was asking for a soundbite of Adrian, and then I just made a soundbite of myself.
It's okay. We may have lost 2 to that soundbite, but we can physically not lose 3 unless I say, "I'm edging you, Jeremy."
Shit!
No!
Fucking can it. Throw it in the garbage. This is worthless anyway.
Oh god. So yeah, aliens. So there's people that actually believe that aliens like came down and fucking levitated these rocks
With the tractor beams.
Yeah.
How else would you do it?
Yeah.
How else are they gonna get that much animal fat?
And like fucking chiseled them with their alien technology.
I feel like it'd be way more precise if they were done with alien tech.
Right?
You're like, "All right, just shoot a few times with a laser beam. That's good enough."
Yeah. So that's one theory. Second theory is that giants built it.
Oh, like Jotun basically showed up and made it.
Yeah. So early historians were...
Hold on, let's pause there. What did you just say?
Jotun?
Yeah, okay.
Or Jotun? Either one.
Is that a person?
No, they're the frost giants.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Norse mythology.
I thought you were saying that like that was the name of the guy. Like
No,
Jotun.
no, just like Jotun showed up and we're like, let's move some fucking.
Oh, I see.
Boys.
You saying that? I'm sorry. Are you saying that as a plural? I didn't realize.
Should I say Jotuns?
Yes.
Really?
Like
I thought it was like deer.
I
don't know the word
have
for
heard
that.
the word Jotuns. So
Well, talk to me later about how they put flies on their pants if zippers freeze.
continue, please.
So specifically, it was one giant who built it.
Steve.
Emir.
He actually didn't have a name for some reason.
Why are you naming all these like Viking giants?
Because that's the only giants I know in mythology,
What-
man.
We're in England.
I mean,
Yeah,
to be
it's
fair,
like right there.
I mean, okay.
Oh,
Don't correct me on that. Just
Yeah.
go forward.
yeah. So yeah, early historians were heavily influenced by folk tales to explain the unexplainable. So that's where they came up with giants, and that was like kind of the leading theory for a while.
You basically just described every mythology.
Yeah,
Just, we don't know how this works, so let's make it up.
It's so weird to me that, like, okay, so you build something with a purpose, and then, like, people don't get what the purpose is.
And then they're just like, yeah, fucking giant builder, what do you want?
Yeah. Because, I mean, okay, I mentioned earlier, like the solstice goes through, but it's so weird that someone is just like, I don't remember why we built this.
Yeah, I guess because they never wrote it down. But even then, like,
Like, did they stop using it? And after a while, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, we forgot, like, forgot how
Essentially-
to turn it on.
essentially that's kind of what happened.
oral tradition at the time, oral tradition lasted millennia. Because it took the Greeks until this guy fucking wrote shit down.
Yeah.
Because they were just saying it for a while. You know what I mean? So you're totally right. That is super weird that they just forgot.
Is it the same, like general tribe or like civilization? Like, do they still exist? Like, do we know who built it?
Not really.
Okay, so theoretically, they could have just not been there anymore, and other people could have come back and been like, okay.
Although
Yeah,
we
I
did
guess it
talk
makes
about
sense.
earlier that there are actually a few Stonehenges. That same basic layout, same thing where like it's a bunch of graves around it. Yeah,
But like, would they? Now my question is, do they also line up with the solstice, or could it have been like copycats? You know, what I mean?
I didn't research that far.
But yeah, oh, of course. But like, that would be kind of an interesting thing to find out that maybe part of the reason is because we don't know why it was built in the first place. The people are just like, that's kind of neat. Let's see if we can do it.
I mean, maybe.
Because that is sort of a common thread in history of just like, that's neat. Let me try.
I don't know.
I don't know why, but the only thing that comes to mind that fits that for some reason is do you know who invented ramen?
I mean, it wasn't
Was
the
it-
Japanese.
It was not Japanese. It was Chinese.
Okay.
Oh,
it was like
And then
Steve Ramen.
his name was actually Thomas Ramen. But no, the Chinese invented ramen, and then it got to Japan before a period of isolation. But Japan suddenly had all this foreign stuff, and it was the last foreign stuff they got. And so when they went into isolation, they like perfected it essentially. So the Japanese made ramen essentially copying Chinese ramen, but then just like did it better. And so people tend to attribute it with Japan because Chinese ramen is basically just noodles. But Japanese ramen is like, let's put a fucking egg on that, you throw some goddamn pork in there. Oh, green onions, baby. Like,
that's interesting. I didn't. So it's like the mariachi, how like people think it's Mexican, but it's actually Italian.
it's Italian?
Yeah,
I assumed it went back to Spain.
mariachi.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like
just,
an Italian word.
yeah, I just assumed it went back to Spain. I can't fucking differentiate between Spanish and Italian.
like as in the band?
Yeah.
Or just make sure that
The genre, I think.
Yeah, the
would be
genre
term.
was
Interesting.
originally Italian.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
There's so.
Hey! Oh, that's right. It is Italian because everyone's
Yo,
always
'cause
like,
they go,
hey!
So my favorite theory of the how. So
So you're just mind-flooded with mariachi bullshit now.
I know. I'm sorry.
You've played mariachi, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah,
Yes.
Adrian's like a musician, like a very talented musician.
Well, thank you.
I've never heard him, so I know he is a musician.
Doesn't know if I'm talented.
Yeah.
It's true. Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, based on what I've just heard now, I'll say yes.
All right.
So
Dumbass things.
my favorite one, my favorite theory of how these stones got here is because it was a team building exercise. So
For 1,000 years?
where these people just like dragged rocks. I imagine this probably isn't how it happened, but I imagine like that like the game that like teenage girls play in like almost every movie in the sleepover, the
Pillow fight.
No, that's in every porn.
They're swinging these blocks at each other.
No, the light as a feather, stiff as a board thing.
I have no fucking idea what you just said.
You don't
to
know
me.
what that is?
No.
Wow.
I didn't get invited to many
many-
all-girls sleepovers.
Yeah, only a couple.
Yeah.
Wow.
They after the second time they're like, this guy fucking sucks. Like, do not invite him back.
Yeah, and after I showed up, they were like, this dude cannot stop talking about how he wants Shock Top to eat his ass. Like,
Yeah.
you get him out of here, dude. We love Shock Top.
We keep wanting to do this light as a feather, just as stiff as a board, but Jeremy just keeps ruining. He's like, hey, let's pillow fight. It's not like that's what we do in these things. Am I right?
No, yeah. So essentially, what it is.
Do you know how that game is? Like, how is it played? What do you?
All right. So
This is a great visual for this podcast.
Shut up. I need to know.
All right. So what it is like a girl like just lies down and she has to like be as still as possible.
I don't like
And
this.
yeah, and every other girl has to like get around her and with like two fingers each on the body and lift it up.
Oh.
Does it work?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, because there's enough people?
Yeah, because there's enough people.
Oh, so you're saying that if there's enough people, you could move an object that you wouldn't normally be able to lift on your own. So if you perhaps got a fuck ton of guys to move a 30-ton block of stone.
I mean, yeah.
My favorite thing that nobody can see is when I say some stupid asinine bullshit and Jeremy just pulls out his phone to search it up to prove me wrong. Not realizing that everything that comes out of my mouth is a bit because I don't have a personality.
God.
I was just like, how much could one person carry? How many people carry 30 tons? Okay, this is easy. The record of overhead lift stands at effectively 300 kilograms.
So here's the thing. First of all, I need that in freedom units. Second of all, I never said they were lifting it overhead. They're just lifting it to like their waist and like shimmying.
But that's my point, is that this person was able to lift that. So like, let's assume that one person, this is the absolute record, could lift 300 kilograms. And so that would take 3 people to lift 1 full ton. Meaning there would need to be like 90 people picking up that.
Yes!
And at a
makes
certain
perfect
point,
sense.
you're like, hey, I don't have a place to put my hand. I guess, you know what? 89.
I feel like as long as you have your hand on it, it
Well,
counts.
it's just
it's like
a
last person,
limitation thing.
last person to get the fucking hand off gets to keep it.
Yeah, everyone puts their hand on the Stonehenge block, and the last one to touch it, to like stay touching it, gets a Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What was
That's a fun team building exercise of spending 1,000 years doing something.
I'm just thinking of like an episode of The Office where fucking Dwight shows up with a 30-ton rock and it's like, the ancient people did it, now we must. And then Michael just tries to get people to fucking lift it.
See, that's my first thought
That's
was
actually an
that there
Office
was going to
episode.
be like, one team's like, we're going to be Team England. And then the other team's like, we are Team Gryffindor.
No, but yeah, I mean, they would have to do that for 125 miles for 1,000 years.
See, here's the thing. I can understand that now when you need 90 people to lift 1 rock.
Oh, God.
How many hernias do you think this costs?
Oh, dude, a ton.
I'm pretty sure their entire body was just one collective hernia.
Yeah.
Yeah, must have been. So those are all the theories on how.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
But why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why?
That-
If you see why are the aliens doing it?
Yeah, if you say aliens, then we go, ooh, and you go, we'll get to it later. One more fucking time, I'm gonna
right.
kidney punch you.
Very first bullet point. Let's just get it out of the way. Aliens.
Thank God. And his second bullet point, I'll get to it later.
Second bullet point. I will get to it later.
All right, kidney punch coming
All
right
right.
up.
So, and I'm gonna butcher this name. Eric von Daniken. Actually, no, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
This one's a tough one. Steve. Oh, not bad me.
So he was an author, and he wrote a book called Chariot of the Gods: Unsolved Mysteries of the Past.
You know, I have run into that book more than once in my research.
Really?
This dude wrote about fucking everything, apparently.
Yeah. He wrote about so many potential cryptids, potential I don't know.
It just, all this shit is in that goddamn book. I've run into that book so many times. Like, I feel like I need to buy a copy at this point.
Potential cryptids, like cryptids we may not know about
Like,
yet.
like Stonehenge, the pyramids, like stuff that we know it's there, but
Oh, I see the point.
yeah.
Something
so-
that can be explained as a cryptid, not necessarily.
Well, I-
Exactly.
Those would be an anomalous artifact, not a cryptid.
Oh, whatever.
What, you got a problem with that, Jerry?
Nope, no problem.
What were you
Yawning again.
Are we just fucking boring you over there, you piece of shit?
I've just let's see. I've just been up like
A while.
A while, yeah. So,
Okay.
I woke up at 2 this morning, so
Like PM or AM? That's very important. Ooh, that's rough.
it's not really morning if it's PM. You understand how morning works. There's literally no way
yeah,
that
it's when you cry.
it's true.
All right.
That took me a very long time to get. I was like,
You were giving me such an incredulous look, and then suddenly your face just softened, and you're like, wait, he's onto something.
yeah, no, that's fair. All right, tell me about the aliens that are fucking lifting rocks and stuff
All
like
right.
that.
So yeah. So basically, same thing.
I love that Jeremy's checked out, man.
I
He
know,
is
right?
phoning it in now.
I'm not phoning it in. Hold on, let me do that again. Yo, what's going on with these rocks?
That one kind of hurt my ears.
Yeah. So pretty much what he wrote, these aliens came down to like help us and teach us their ways or whatever, and not wanting to imply that we're underachievers.
I love it. They're like considerate aliens.
Yeah. He was like, oh, let me help you out with that. Oh, let me also help you out with the pyramids. Oh, you need these Easter Island
Wait,
heads.
it was the same.
It was the same group
So,
of aliens.
so
Like
the Anunnaki.
Essentially, yeah.
But the Anunnaki enslaved people to do it.
Well, no, not these ones, because these were pro. These were pro work.
Yeah, these weren't the Anunnaki. These were the Anunnako. Very different.
It's true.
Yeah. Second theory, which is just great. Stonehenge is a massive sex symbol.
Are you telling me they were just really horny?
Hold on. Is there a particular angle I need to look at this to see?
Jeremy's like recounting Stonehenge, going
You're
like,
like,
you know, that
alright.
one rock did have some tiggle bitties.
Let me pull up a picture. of
Imagine
Stonehenge
from aerial view is what they're referring to.
from
Okay.
aerial view.
Is it supposed to just look like a big old vag? Like, I don't.
Kind of, yeah.
If you squint, it's like it's coming out at you like a 3D movie.
Dude, let me tell you, something's coming out at Stonehenge.
Yeah. So there's people, specifically the main person who suggests this is a gynecologist by the name of Anthony Perks.
Well, yeah, of course he would suggest it.
Yeah, everything he sees is a vagina. How is this a vagina?
If anything, that's the thing that goes on the back of Goku's shirt from Dragon Ball Z.
No, okay.
I was gonna say it's just the ass that Shock Top needs to eat out.
So yeah, so he suggests it's just a fucking massive vagina.
In what? This dude's a gynecologist. This dude has seen more pussy than most guys will in their entire life. How does he not know what one looks like? I'm starting to think he might be a bad gynecologist.
Yeah, he was just like, like the vagina, like right below the titties. That's what we're all doing right over here, guys, right?
And nobody corrects him because, like, I mean, it is below the titties.
Yeah.
Just
Right above the belly button. Okay, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, so he claims that it's actually an ancient fertility symbol. So you know that symbol, like the male, female, like it's a circle and then
There's an arrow.
yeah.
aren't those like a fairly modern symbol?
Yeah, but he claims that
Is like their
Stonehenge
version of
was their version of it. And it, quote, represents the opening by which the Earth Mother gave birth to the plants and animals on which the ancient people so depended.
So
Sorry, you go first,
Okay.
and then I'm going to complain.
I'm glad we know where we
Yeah.
stand here. I have seen plenty of artifacts that are ancient fertility symbols from that long ago. And you know what they do is they get a piece of wood and they carve a fat ass chick with some huge titties and they go, doesn't that get you hard? Why wouldn't they just make a giant titty?
Okay.
I mean, they kind of did.
No, they did not. I'm starting to think, Jeremy,
so
are you with me where Adrian's never seen a titty?
Yeah, I've seen plenty of titties.
I don't know about
They
that.
look very bumpy and
Yeah,
and like a rock.
But
in
have
a
you seen them from
circle.
an aerial view, from like a satellite?
no.
Because I'm starting to believe that you haven't seen the big ass titties from an aerial view from like a satellite position.
No, I've seen them on Earth, obviously.
in a
love-
mirror?
In
I love the fact that he said on Earth. He's like, no, I've seen them on Earth. is where I've seen them.
You had never seen an alien titty.
Yeah, no, that's just
played
me
Honey Pop.
banging
I was about to
human
make the
people.
same joke. We both played Honey Pop. We've seen alien titties.
Yeah.
Jeremy won't play Honey Pop
No,
because he
because I have
thinks
too
he's-
much self-respect.
you know what? That's exactly what I was going to say.
Here's the
Fair.
thing.
That's fair.
Why is this gynecologist being like, oh, this looks just like he's not a fucking historian of vaginas?
Dude,
like,
you would be surprised how often, and I suddenly can't think of any examples, but how often that happens in cryptid shit, where someone's like, I know who Bigfoot is, or I know what a Bigfoot is, and people are like, well, what in your line of work would allow you to understand Bigfoot? And he goes like, excuse me, I'm a kindergarten teacher. I know this. And it's like, that has nothing to do with the surrounding
Right.
information.
Yeah.
It comes up so often, and that's not the first. I think it was in Loch Ness or something. Like, it was a gynecologist who talked about it.
he's just like, yeah, Loch Ness monster, just like a big vagina. Because at first I was like, okay, I kind of get it. Like, it's a fucking it is something. If it's like of the fertility symbols, you got big ass shafts, and then everything else is a vagina. Like that,
Yeah,
that's how fertility symbol works. But this dude's like, I know exactly how this works. Not because I'm a gynecologist, but because I like moonlight as like a historian of different fertility symbols.
So yeah, so it's a giant ass vagina.
It still doesn't make me nearly as mad as the DLF past gravity bullshit.
Yeah, you know what? Nothing.
I've been thinking about that for like 2 weeks, and I'll think about it at like 2 a.m. and just get mad. Just in bed, just mad.
God. So back to Merlin, because he has a role in this.
I forgot about Merlin.
Dude, is this where Excalibur was?
No.
What? He does that every fucking time he leads an episode, where you'll say something that's interesting and he'll be like, just kidding.
So yeah, so this theory was put about in the 12th century.
Wait, in the 12th century?
Yeah, so
okay.
in the 12th century, this was like,
Someone put
yeah,
this idea forward.
this is what Stonehenge is. It was put forward by one Geoffrey of Monmouth.
of
Monmouth?
Is that how you say it?
Probably.
Monmouth. So he was a British cleric.
I would rather have a paladin in the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a historiographer, which I didn't know was a thing.
Historiographer?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
Someone who like charts history?
But
who
like,
writes history?
wouldn't that just be a historian?
Well, arguably a historian is someone who knows history. Maybe he's someone that puts it on a map?
All right, but pretty much everything you know about Arthurian legends is because of this guy.
Oh, so he's a crackpot.
Basically.
You don't
right.
dare step in front of Arthurian legends. Every story is exactly the same, and it, somehow you're like, oh, that's different.
All right, so he says, as we've discussed before on the How, a giant brought these stones from Africa.
I don't even want to
And
hear
he
the rest
brought
of this
them.
one.
It was from Africa to Ireland.
But hold on, that's something we can just check.
Yeah, because we can just look at the rock and be like, that ain't any kind of rock we've seen in Africa.
Well, more importantly, you look around, you see, look at that rock and say, does that look like every other rock around here? Because they're more or less going to be the same. Like no one's moving a new rock, huh?
Yeah, so the reason why he brought these rocks over were because of their healing properties.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt again, but think of a map, right? Think of Africa. So this giant goes to Africa. He picks up a 30-ton rock, and then because of how continents are connected, this motherfucker had to walk basically in like a backwards C shape to even get there. Unless he how big was the
Wait, you said
giant?
he then went to Ireland. So
Yeah,
he
so-
took like a canoe?
Yeah, because at one point you
I
have to
think
cross the
so.
British Isles.
I mean,
Obviously.
that's not that far in comparison to all the other stuff. he's
Yeah,
done.
yeah, but like, so he has to go in Africa, and then he has to walk through like that land bridge, one of them, I guess, and then go up and around to Ireland.
Well, I imagine
That is such a long, weird path.
he probably docks his ship at like Morocco.
Does he have a ship?
I imagine he does.
How
He's
big
not-
would the ship have to be? He's a giant.
Well, it's like one hollowed out redwood. He went to Washington.
So you're telling me that somewhere at the bottom of the ocean is one fucking huge canoe?
Or a raft.
I hate this one.
Yeah. So he brought them because of their healing properties. But when King...
African healing rocks.
I'm not even going to say anything about that.
Actually, keep that in mind, African healing rocks.
Don't talk to me about how... Well, see, this crystal rose quartz vibrates in such a way that it'll cure cancer. It's just like essential oils.
You
It
did that
kills me.
very well.
Honestly, you went into a different character that I was 100%
I believed it, yeah.
That's my pseudoscience character. Which, if you believe it, there's a problem.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, this is good. This is the fourth member of the podcast right here.
So you know, like the whole thing about essential oils, how people think they can cure everything up to like cancer.
Yeah.
With absolutely zero evidence. There's a very similar school of thought, which is
With crystals.
with crystals, where just minerals in general, where like these rocks will help you. Like if you take this rock and you hold it up to your throat, you'll get rid of your sore throat. Or if you take this rock and you put it next to your penis, you won't have to pee anymore. It's like,
Holy shit! What a buff!
but like it's just pseudoscience bullshit. It triggers me so hard. Pseudoscience makes me so upset.
I just love the fact that like one of those rocks just isn't like mildly helps you out, and the other one's just like upgrade.
All right, so when King Aurelius, which I imagine
Aurelius?
Aurelius,
is
yeah, that's a pretty famous figure.
all right, so he wanted to erect a monument. Shut up.
Sorry, that always gets me. We're just talking about fertility monuments. Jeremy's over here molesting his like bottle of hand
excuse me.
sanitizer. Adrian's like, Aurelius was erect, and like I'm just dying.
No,
I
Aurelius
hate that description.
wanted to erect.
You're like, taking the cap off, and you're just like, oh, it's getting a little sexy in here.
So he wanted to erect a monument after some recent battle that he won. And Merlin suggested, oh, hey, there's a giant who brought these stones. Why don't we just use those?
Oh, it wasn't even a plan?
Yeah, no.
So the giant just went to Africa and was like, that's a neat rock. I bet that'll heal someone of their need to piss. And then brought it up to Ireland, and then Merlin was like, those are mine.
I love the fact that rock like cures the disease of needing to piss.
It is a disease.
God.
It's like normally you wouldn't have to piss.
If you've ever peed in your life, you're going to die. Like it just proves it.
There are people who probably die before they've peed.
That's different circumstances.
So, now to the more serious-ish ones.
That wasn't serious?
Oh, no. I wholeheartedly believe that Merlin like got these rocks from a giant and erected them for King Aurelius as a monument to some battle that he won.
I remember reading that in my history books.
Sure. So, I forgot which one of you brought it up.
Was it
But-
aliens?
No, but there's a few stones that are aligned to the sunset on the winter and the sunrise of the summer solstice.
Yeah, that was Jeremy talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm smart.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's a histographer.
It's not-
Write that bitch down.
Sure. So this leads people to believe that it was actually meant to be an observatory.
In what world
I don't know.
would that help you in the setting of an observatory?
Well, I guess because if you're looking through the rocks, you could be like, oh, well, this is where I'm meant to look to see this thing.
Okay, so if I were to be looking at the sun, no matter where it is in the sky,
But not necessarily.
I'm like, that sure is.
you don't use an
the
observatory to see the sun. Like people,
sun. I know, but like that's all they could see from it.
there's stars in the sky too.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the time of day shifts where the Earth is seeing.
True, but you can see stars at night.
Okay, yes, but these are stagnant, still objects. If you look at this one and you see this constellation, later in the night, that constellation is going to be shifted over because we have moved.
But at night, the stars come out.
And zippers can't freeze! Yo,
What about the North Star? That one doesn't move.
Genuinely?
Checkmate.
Genuinely, I have no fucking idea why I thought zippers couldn't freeze. like in that episode, I would just, like you said that, and I think I would just want to be like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna prove him wrong. Zippers can't freeze.
Well, because you said it in a way like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the case, and it was one of those things where even when you read it, or even when you said it, I thought,
That doesn't sound right at all. Why would any idiot think that?
Well,
I don't know.
It felt like something you said, and then immediately like, I shouldn't have said that. Like you would just thinking about it, you're like, that didn't really make any sense.
I thought about it for about half a second and was like, well, I'm gonna have to ride this one out.
All right, so same thing about the stars. A lot of people think it wasn't an observatory, but actually it was the world's first computer.
Okay,
So it was
They're
helping
wrong.
to it was helping to like
those
predict,
people are wrong.
No, like it was helping to like predict dates or events or seasons.
So a calendar.
wait, what do you mean it would
Yeah,
predict
like-
dates, events, or
like
seasons?
it's not like a PC or something that you can like
Like
game
when I'm
on. Like no.
So you're telling me I can't play Minecraft on Stonehenge?
They're just
No.
like, 900 more years and we're gonna be playing Doom.
Everything can play Doom at this point. so.
Like a literal it helped them make their calculations. It's
The abacus
like-
had been invented by this point.
Well, abacus is just a collection of rocks, isn't it? Like anything.
You know what?
can
You bring up a great point.
yeah, because
It's just a really big abacus.
they're just like, oh, we got to tens and move over to the next column.
Also, I just want to throw out there, why would you move 25-ton rocks to count when you can just get like a couple pebbles and go one,
To lose the pebbles.
two, you know, a great point. You're not
Yeah.
going to lose those rocks.
Yeah, those rocks.
Once those are there, they are there, unless we get a shit ton more animal fat.
What do you? Okay, so when go back to the constant. Sorry, go back to the calculation idea.
Sure.
What the fuck do you mean?
No,
Yeah,
like kind of like okay, so on this like if it's I don't know fucking May or whatever, like the sun's gonna be pointing in this direction.
Like a
So
calendar.
a calendar,
Exactly, it's essentially a
which is
calendar.
effectively, in no way, a computer.
Okay,
Hey,
I want to
I'm
boil
just-
down.
I'm
When I
just going
first
by
said
what I
this, I
read.
was like, "Hey, isn't this exactly what it's for?" And you're like, "Well, it does this exactly." And I'm like, earlier, everyone was like, "Oh, we don't know what it does," but it seems like you're describing how it would effectively work and the events that you get out of it. So, okay, because it's also like a big circle boy, and so
So
like
that's true. I can confirm it is in fact a big circle boy.
yeah, it's a circular and it's got not a square quality to it.
God, it is
I mean,
an
besides the
absolute
rock.
fucking shame we don't visually record these. Because every time Jeremy talks, he does like a fucking interpretive dance with whatever he's doing.
So,
God.
I imagine if I'm standing in the center
still doing it.
and I'm looking at the side. I've never been more self-conscious.
Because like I talk with my hands and I know I do, but you like I talk with my hands. You're just directly in front of me. You're just like, all right, this is my wingspan, and now I'm gonna make a big old circle. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna lean back and I'm gonna point.
I like to talk with my hands in the same way someone would perhaps show an airplane where they can take off. Okay,
Jesus Christ.
so if I'm standing in the center
Uh-huh.
and when the sun goes, it's going to be on a different it's going to go through a different column, right?
Correct.
Okay, so but it does do that.
Yeah.
So
So it is a calendar.
yeah, so it,
I thought the whole thing was people were like, I don't know, but that just sounds like a calendar.
yeah, it
But we don't know that.
okay,
that's
but-
what it seems to be.
Like I know earlier I was being difficult when he was like, yeah, it always lines up with the winter solstice. And I was like, that could be a coincidence. But like, again, I was just being difficult. Of course that's not a coincidence. That's a very specific thing.
More importantly, I find that really interesting in the fact that okay, so how many columns are there? If you say 12,
Well, that calendar wasn't invented until way later.
that's true.
Yeah, I actually have no idea.
I just imagine that there's also little spots. It's like, oh yeah, when the sun's shining on this, it's a holiday.
God.
There's just one of them that has a carving in it that says January.
No, yeah, I have absolutely no idea how many there were. I saw all of the theories of what it could possibly be, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be the episode,
Right.
because there is a lot.
But it sounds like
Yeah, it
it
sounds like we
literally
know
is a calendar.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a pretty definitive idea of what it would
Okay.
do.
Like if you told me
Okay.
oh, today is May 15th, and I was like, well, how do you know that? And they're like, well, because of this laid out grid of days. I'd be like, that could be anything.
But essentially, that's what it is. Okay. Also, how do you if it's a calendar? Why are there so many dead bodies just like neatly stacked around it?
Are there dead bodies?
Yeah, because he said there were burial grounds like around it. But I think that's just more like.
Is there like 60 of them? Is it like a clock as well?
Yeah, you see when the sun hits Jeffrey's grave, it's actually 2:15 p.m.
I want to point out that they were like, we are having a really hard time keeping track of like, the months and also of the day. Spend 1,000 years to make ourselves effectively a clock and a calendar, and then we will move on from there. Then we will decide our next technology move.
I would have loved if this was like if this 1,000 years was displaced to where it was like from like 0 to 1,000. You know what I mean? And then by the time they're finished, they're like, we can tell what time it is now. And some dude was like, I have a watch. Like, I can just look at my watch.
Okay, I also want to point out the fact that how did they know it was 1,000 years if the calendar hadn't been built yet? They could have been like, quickly roll them in, boys. Oh, shit, it's not made yet. What are we thinking, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000? We'll go 1,000.
Yeah, it took like 10 months.
So, yeah. So, that's one theory that may or may not...
I lean on this theory.
Because, like, just playing off that real quick, if they made a calendar and then they were like, yeah, it took 1,000 years, but they didn't know how to tell dates beforehand, I'm just going to say it, I don't think that'd be a very reliable calendar.
All right, so another theory that was actually put forth by some archaeologists, like some actual archaeologists.
Now we're talking.
Some archaeographers, yeah.
Sure, from Bournemouth University.
Come
Sorry.
on.
I'm still laughing at that last part.
Bournemouth University?
Well, it's English, so odds are it actually has a very normal name, but it's just how you spell it.
But it's Bournemouth. It's like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What was that syllable?
Actually, can I see the word?
Sure.
If it's spelled Burmo.
Oh, it's Bournemouth, like
Bournemouth?
Jason Mouth, like Jason Bourne.
Jason Mouth.
Jason Mouth. You know, the classic spy thriller.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Mouth.
For some reason, you were like, Jesus Christ, and I was like, where's it going with this?
So, what?
Interesting. Continue. I'm here.
Yeah, so from Bournemouth.
He's pulling out his phone.
Is
He's
it
about to prove you wrong.
No, I'm not. I'm not about to prove him wrong. I'm looking up an interesting fact, and if this is true.
So these archaeologists suggest that Stonehenge was actually a place of healing, kind of like Yosefka's clinic from Bloodborne, but like, actually.
I love that the only healing area you could possibly think of was Yosefka's clinic from the PlayStation 4 game Bloodborne.
It's the only one because they put another place that I've never heard of, and it looks just like Yosefka's clinic.
Really? Okay. Just
yeah.
It's some ridiculous name. You're just like, yeah. They make weird alien melon head boys there. I know that.
No,
place.
but like an actual like good place of healing.
Motherfucker. All right.
What?
So I was like, I've never seen this before, but when I read it, I was like, it kind of reads, or like it reads nothing like. But if I said that with an English accent, I know it sounds like another word that I've heard plenty of times. And I just looked it up. Hey, how do you pronounce it? Let's see if I can.
Bournemouth?
Yeah, Bournemouth. But if you said that, I have literally heard that all the time. But us pronouncing it with an American accent, it's like
Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like how Americans are always like, oh, Glasgow, when they and it's like no, it's actually pronounced Glasgow.
Yeah.
It's not.
What's one? It's like Americans say like Edinburgh, but it's like no.
Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's Edinburgh. Yeah.
Or
so it's
Edinburgh, as you'd probably say.
Edinburgh. That's how that's how Adam and Eve would react when they got home. They'd be like, "It's the Garden of Edinburgh." Anyway, move on.
Please do.
So yeah,
I don't want to linger on that.
So it's like a healing clinic. That's what these people argue.
But people died nearby.
No, exactly. So
would those be the people they couldn't heal, and they was like, just fucking throw them out in the back?
Yes. And the
Wow.
reason is because a lot of the people that they dug up in these burial areas, there's a lot of evidence of trauma and deformity in these people.
Like, do you have any examples? Or is that just
One
I
guy had
don't.
2 heads.
wow?
I'm just kidding.
Well, I have 2 heads too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One up here and one down there, brother.
Yeah, like the second head that is just below your nipples.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right next to my vagina.
I've never seen someone's face turn so red when they're laughing. Like, instantly you were just like, red.
Yeah,
Well, there's a few reasons. I've been drinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hot in here, and I've needed to pee for about 45 minutes.
You're like, oh, I wish we had this crystal. You just put on your penis and you're done peeing.
You know, that wasn't the idea, but that's probably where it came from.
we could pause if you need to go.
Absolutely not. I'm a professional.
All right. So I didn't write
This
any.
is very long.
Yeah, no, we're going to have to cut this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I've been trying to.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm so sorry.
So I don't have any actual examples, but there were deformities and evidence of trauma, physical trauma on these bodies. However, these archaeologists do concede that the site was probably multifunctional and was used as ancestor worship as well.
Okay, yeah, the religious.
Yeah, okay.
aspect.
Yeah.
I would have assumed.
That's the one that I would believe before anything else. Until I found out that it's literally a calendar, and people were like, "Oh no!"
Oh, first interesting thing about the bodies that I forgot to mention. So there's some individuals that are from different regions. So
which is unusual for that time.
which is very unusual. So there's a teenage boy that was buried approximately 1550 BC. He was raised from the Mediterranean Sea and was buried here.
Now, I don't want to bring down the mood, but I believe there was a lot of slavery happening out there. So he could have just been a slave.
Potentially.
It would be weird that he'd be buried in an ancestral area.
Or more importantly, that they went to the Mediterranean to buy a slave. You get that from the town over.
I just know in the Mediterranean there was a lot of slaving going on.
In the year negative 2000?
Yeah. There was a lot of slavery, and I might be wrong.
No,
that was an area that was rampant with slavery, up until the fall of Rome.
Sure.
So second, there was a metal worker from 2300 BC dubbed the Amesbury Archer. And they dated him, well, they pinpointed that he was actually from Germany.
Huh.
Yeah. And another one called...
What did they use the metal worker from?
It
it didn't go into the structure.
I don't fucking know.
Was he building
Well, I think that just might have been his profession. And he just
Yeah,
happened to
that
be
was
buried
just his
there.
profession.
I guess he could make a sword.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well,
Maybe
they-
horse hooves. Or
Sure.
horse
They
hooves,
dubbed him.
horseshoes.
They dubbed him the Amesbury Archer. So I imagine he
Yeah.
was buried with a fucking bow and arrow or something.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. That he's a metal worker and an archer. He's multifaceted.
Well, imagine up until that point, people are like, I got this bow, but it fires like flint. And he was like, I have metal, bitch boys. And then...
Third was one that was dubbed the Boscombe Bowman. I don't fucking know. Probably
A lot of archery in this area.
I know, right? And he probably arrived from either Wales or France.
That seems like a very...
Those are nearby, I mean.
But think about in 2000 BC, you know what I mean? I was about to say, that's a different country. What I meant is, that's a different world, basically. Because it is quite literally, in every aspect, different countries.
Well, honestly, we've reached a time frame where I'm like, I don't know where we even are technologically.
Yeah, that's a good point, too.
Because you are describing a metal worker, and I was like, oh shit, I have been picturing people with sticks.
Yeah, and it's was he working with bronze at that point? Was he working with tin?
Yeah.
Well,
I honestly,
it
I
was-
didn't
couldn't
not.
tell you.
I didn't.
It
even
was
think
around
of
the
that.
Bronze Age.
Okay,
So,
Oh, so they're whipping out those bronze boys.
yeah.
yeah.
Fun fact about the Bronze Age. Whenever you think about, when you think of a Viking, what's he wearing on his head?
Oh, it's the
What's
the
the
horns.
purple helmet with horns painted on it?
Yeah, the helmet with horns, that's not a Viking thing.
Yeah, it was made up for plays and stuff.
Yes.
It caught on.
Yeah, those helmets were only really popular during the Bronze Age in Europe.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's not important to anybody in the world.
Yeah,
That's
it's not.
probably why.
That's true.
All right. So, another theory was that it's actually an art piece, and it's a symbol of peace and unity.
You know, that
1,000-year-old. Okay, I say that, but then we're literally describing like
The German
Yeah,
one,
the German
yeah.
one. You know,
like
that's fair.
that one's fairly believable, honestly. I don't really have much to say about that one.
Yeah.
Now, what I do have to say is, every time I think we're almost done, he's like, another theory. I'm just like, I might not ever piss.
I'm trying to get through it. I promise. I promise.
You're like, the concept might be removed from me. Not that I might never have time, but like, if we go on too long, it's sealed shut, guys.
It is calcified.
I could talk slower if you want.
Yeah.
No, yeah. The reason
Sounds like
being,
you're getting a buff.
the reason being was because like around the time that this was supposedly built, it was when Britain's Neolithic people were experiencing a period of cultural unification.
Interesting.
From my understanding, that is basically never.
I don't fucking know, man. That's what the article said.
Huh.
Take it up with National Geographic.
I thought he said take it up with Newton.
Yeah,
and
I heard that too.
I was like, what the fuck does Isaac Newton have to do with any of
Yeah,
this?
the apple fell and he brought peace to England.
Apple fell and he was like, dude, what if we got a bunch of rocks?
Last one.
You know, I feel kind of sad because we've been here for so long. He's just like, here's a billion reasons why. Oh, here's the real one, and now we're gonna continue.
yeah. We already found out it was a calendar.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet, though.
Here's the thing.
I think we do, though.
I'm gonna go to England because I do that kind of sometimes, and I'm gonna go back to Stonehenge and be like, hey, real quick, calendar, yay or nay?
And they're gonna be like, yeah, like what kind of fucking idiot
We've
would
been
ever...
saying it's a calendar the entire
Anyway,
time.
you want a sheep hat?
Yeah.
There's actually a ton of theories that I left out, by the way. One of them being like it's a sound studio.
Okay. What the fuck?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
apparently,
what-
like
what-
when you hit the rocks, it sounds like a bell.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
that
That's
just means it vibrates. Like that.
See, that makes more sense because I thought it was like 2000 BC. It was like, yo, yo, yo!
Yeah, you roll back the. What people don't know is when you look at Stonehenge, from the inside it's all rock, outside acoustic foam.
Yeah.
Sure. So Stonehenge, the megaliths include smaller bluestones that are composed of materials that we're not going to get into.
What do you mean? Stop, hold on. What do you mean?
Because I'm trying to get this man to the
Go ahead. This
Look,
is my life now. I've accepted it. Yes, please continue.
All right, dolerite, tuff, rhyolite, and sandstone. So they are.
What the blue sandstone?
Hey, yeah. So they're
Even the
blue
dolerite in
stones.
in the maybe mix.
Maybe.
Yeah. So these stones originally appeared. Well, they originated in Wales, about 140 miles from the monolith. From the.
You said these are
from the
smaller,
monument.
though, right?
They are smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could I have had a carriage at this point? Like, would I have even had the option
I
for
mean,
an animal to pull?
Horses would have been like domesticated by this point, I believe.
Yeah, would they
At
have
least by
been in
2000.
England?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so because it was it was the Macedonians who, or the pre-Macedonians. I forget what they're
I'm going
called.
to stop what you're saying. Continue.
All right. You know what? That's a great point.
And, so
Yes.
yeah. So that's why they were ringing. And going back to the whole thing about like, oh, maybe it's a healing thing. Apparently, these people thought, well, like back then, that stones that could ring have healing properties. And
Oh, it's the pseudoscience
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Literally what we're just
it's
talking about.
literally a pseudoscience.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
so
I mean, yeah, obviously it is, but it's
But,
just
like-
funny that we're still there. We're just
Yeah.
like,
Well, 'cause-
hey, vibrating rocks, you want one?
yeah, because back then, like, yeah, no, I get it. Like, I see how he's looking for fucking anything.
They're like, if we
But-
take these two sticks and we make one at a 90-degree angle and make a cross, suddenly vampires are gonna die.
Yeah, but now it's like you just go get a vaccine, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't hold a crystal to your fucking throat. Just take a penicillin.
Yeah.
Just one whole penicillin.
Well, I don't know how penicillin works because I'm deathly allergic to it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm also really fucking stupid because I said that as if like what you said was wrong, but you would take penicillin.
Would you just take like one penicillin?
Yeah, because I was thinking penicillin as a vaccine, and I was like, why would you just go and get another vaccine? But I forgot. Penicillin is
No,
not.
I get how because I went from vaccine directly to
Yeah.
penicillin. Whatever.
So yeah, that's Stonehenge.
Stonehenge honestly is kind of cool.
Yeah. So to recap, Stonehenge is a calendar,
we don't know that.
but we do. Jeremy knows where I can get a really good sheep hat.
It's at Stonehenge.
It's at Stonehenge.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I brought this up for you just so you can.
Oh my God, is it the sheep hat?
It is.
Oh my God.
When my phone is like, you have no thumb.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's one thing I know about Jeremy, it's that he doesn't have thumbs.
I mean, obviously.
He just has big toes on the side of his hand. Dude, I actually love that. That's cute as shit.
They.
That's so
I
cute.
would so buy
I
that.
would buy that. That's cute as hell. So yeah, Stonehenge is a calendar. Don't fucking correct me on it. My bladder is made of steel. Zippers can freeze, and Shock Top can eat my ass. Does that about cover it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go create a new water supply on planet Earth. I'll see you later.
All right, buddy. You have fun.